Doing something a little bit different with today's video. I have a lot of videos about these power stations as far as tips and tricks, how to use them, how to get the most out of them, right? So I thought, and a lot of people find those videos helpful, and I've had some people kind of ask about doing some reviews more on the accessories side of things, right, for these power stations. So this is a good one. This is a great one, actually. This is a little rice cooker, and so this is perfect if you've got a power station with a smaller inverter, right? I've talked about this. There's advantages to having smaller inverters. They're going to waste less power just being on, right? Just, generally just more efficient, but you are going to be limited on the things you can run, right? And typically the things that use a lot of power, a lot of AC power, are typically things that heat things up, right? So cooking, you want to be able to cook. So, that could be an issue. Now, a lot of these kind of newer power stations that do have smaller inverters, they do have that voltage dropping feature, right? That will allow you to kind of use, say, like a 1,000-watt appliance, right? Basically with a smaller inverter. It'll just, it'll drop the voltage to allow you to do that. Now, I've kind of talked about this in my videos, to me, it's a little bit of a sketchy feature, right? You got to be careful with that because you can damage appliances with that if you're not using the right appliance, right? Now, like a very simple appliance like kind of this rice cooker we're taking a look at today, like let's say this was a high wattage device, this would be kind of the device you'd want to use with those features, right? I mean, it literally just has an on-off switch. That's it, right? Like I say, you got to be careful because you don't want to be necessarily using that feature with an appliance that has some kind of like sophisticated digital display screen, right? Because with the circuit boards in there and stuff like that, to me, I think you're just asking for trouble. You're just asking to kind of shorten the life on that. If you're going to be running that thing at significantly less than 110 volts. But ideally the best thing to do would just be have something like this. So this is a little rice cooker. This will be enable you to cook food. We're kind of talking about they call it a rice cooker, but actually in this listing, even in fact, they say great for soups, jambalaya, chili, so much more. And they even show here this particular model that we're going to be taking a look at also has the steamer on top that you can cook, vegetables and meats in as well, as they show. And the reason I'm kind of taking a look at this specific model, I did kind of do some research here and kind of, find the best one I kind of wanted to talk about for this video. Is this actually this Aroma brand? This is a more expensive version of this model here. This is the number one selling rice cooker on Amazon, in fact, and as you can see here, Amazon's Choice as well, and it's pretty cheap as well. But the reason I wanted to actually take a look at this other model that I actually pulled up here is this is, as you can see, the base and everything is, the main body of it's the same, but this one actually has stainless steel pot inside and the stainless steel steamer as well, right? Whereas this other cheaper version has, the ceramic non-stick bowl in it, which, some people, it's kind of been coming in the news a little bit lately, is that non-stick coating really safe? Probably it is in these little rice cookers here that don't actually get that hot, right? I mean, you probably don't want to be using those things ideally when you're heating up like really high temperature stuff. But yeah, in these things it's probably safe, but still it'd be better just to get stainless steel, right? So that's the version I'm taking a look at today. And then obviously, as I mentioned, you can get this version. This particular version has the stainless steel steamer that goes on top as well, right? So just to give you kind of more options. So you could pretty much kind of cook almost anything in this thing, right? I mean, I'm sure you can find instructions, other video demonstrations on YouTube too to kind of help you cook. But basically the whole point of this video, they're saying that this thing is they listed at 500 watts, but then I actually went through the reviews and stuff. A lot of the reviews are saying it actually only draws around 300 watts, right? So this would be perfect for those of you that have, power stations with the smaller inverters, right? Particularly the ones that don't have that voltage dropping feature. But even so, like I said, I think this is just a better route to go, right? I think it's just a better route to kind of use an appliance that's rated for, the inverter size that you have. Jackery 500, Blue Eddy EB3A, All Powers R600, or any other power station that just has a smaller inverter. Having something like this would just be great for you, right? It'd be able to You'll be able to cook something if the power's out or something like that, right? And it's not going to use a ton of power. Now the thing is, of course, this is, it's going to be a slow cook, right? I mean, these things are basically like mini crock pots, and especially being whatever it is, 300 watts, 500 watts, whatever it is, it's going to take some time to cook, but it will heat up the food, right? It will heat it, it will cook it, and it probably won't use that much power, right? Because these things are going to cycle the power draw on and off too, right? It's not going to be, even if it takes 30 minutes or an hour, it's not going to be drawing the full power that entire time, right? It's going to turn on for a little bit, then turn off, so on and so forth. So this model with the steamer, again, they show you basically right here. You can cook soup and veggies right at the same time, oatmeal and eggs right at the same time, rice and chicken. So, I mean, this is just like, you can, like I said, you can basically almost cook any kind of meal you want to do in this thing, and you're not going to use much power, and you can use a small power station, right? So now the other kind of aspect of this, the other side of the food equation here, right, is you're going to have a lot of these foods, they need to be chilled, they need to be refrigerated, right? So that is still an issue if you have a power station with a smaller inverter. Most household refrigerators, they use, between 100 and 150 watts when they're running, but it's that surge, right? That surge when the compressor first kicks on. Typically like 1,300 watts, 1,500 watts, right? To kind of get that compressor going. So that's just, another reason to have a 12-volt fridge. 12-volt fridges are super efficient. And so, if you combine something like this little rice cooker with a 12-volt fridge, and I've talked about 12-volt fridges a little bit. I'll probably, again, I'll start making more videos about those kind of things as well. Hopefully you just kind of found this video helpful, and yeah, thanks for watching.